Hello, everybody. Today's daily Halloweenish style comic book review is going to be Wacky Witch. This is, I want to say, 1972. Yep, number 7 from July of 1972. Starts out with a tricky minstrel is not always a barrel of laughs. The king that Wacky Witch hangs out with, works for. His name is King Dingaling. I love the names that they use in these. But the king is basically woke up on the wrong side of the bed, wants to be entertained. Wacky Witch doesn't entertain him the way he wants. She keeps goofing up things and hurting him when she uses her spells. And a couple characters are outside the castle saying, "Let your drawbridge down, let us in, and I will entertain you." Me and my sidekick will entertain them, which they do. They entertain them really well, but then all of a sudden, Wacky Witch finds out that the king's gold, because he wanted to give them a piece of gold for entertaining him, and we find out that his gold was stolen, the royal cheese was stolen, and then we get a little mystery going on where they get a note and they follow some pieces of cheese into a woods, which ends up being a woods that you get lost in. The trees start attacking them. Some little mice, Robin Hood parody style mice, are attacking them and stuff. And along the way, uh, Wacky Witch cast a spell that allows her amulet to point them in the right direction, and they end up finding their way out of the woods, and they end up back by the castle, and they hear singing going on in the castle and stuff, and they find out that the character that robbed them basically, there's them going through the woods having all kinds of problems. The character that robbed them, and it ends up going back to the castle and taking over the castle because now they're lost in the woods forever. He figures, and but yet they got out and found out about him in the castle, and they do some stuff to get their castle back in order. There's our evil characters with the gold and the cheese and the having fun in the castle, sitting on the king's throne and all that stuff. But the king does find a way to pay them back for stealing his riches. But yeah, that was a fun story, as a lot of these are. I was surprised to see that this is a Mark Jewelers book. I did not know they did them in the cartoon books. If you don't know, people are obsessed with Mark Jewelers. I don't know why. I think there's a lot better advertisements and books, but apparently Mark Jewelers books go for a little extra money just because of their advertisements. You can, in the newer books, you can get the 2-page cardboard style pullout uh, advertisement, and then a lot of older ones have just the single page advertisement in the comic itself. Uh, but yeah, I don't know why they're so popular, but I got a bunch. Not looking for them. I'm not a fan of the Mark Jewelers, so it doesn't really catch my eye at all. Uh, then the next story, I I don't remember this, the Johnny Bench baseball vibrating game, like the football one, which we had the football one. I don't remember them doing a baseball. But I have a feeling my cousin probably had that. He was huge into the baseball stuff. And inside these, you got little puzzles and stuff that you can do. Thankfully, this one isn't filled out like many are. Um, but then our next story is Chester Jester, the big egg hunt. He's going to get his king an egg for breakfast, and the egg laying royal chicken did not lay an egg, so him and his sidekick go out into the woods to try and find some birds' eggs, and they hear like a turkey gobbling, and they chase after the turkey. The one, his sidekick, keeps trying to do jokes, and he keeps ruining the jokes and coming up with the right answers or the answers that he thinks are right. Uh, but then eventually they come across a cave with a really big egg in it, and they take that back to make the king his omelet or whatever he wants. But the egg hatches and a dragon comes out of it, starts attacking the king and them, and yeah, that was fun, but probably the least fun story of the three. The third one is Wacky Witch. Diamonds are a ghoul's best friend. And we got an evil witch that's messing with the Wacky Witch. And for some reason, King Dingaling gets a clock given to him. And they wait for the clock. Gift package outside on the drawbridge. They bring the clock in. The first hour dings, and a cook comes out of the clock. And that reminds Wacky Witch that she's got to go make breakfast for the king. She goes to make it, and everything goes wrong in the kitchen. Then the second time the clock strikes, a horse comes out of the clock, and that gives the king Dingaling an idea to go out dragon hunting. So when he goes out dragon hunting, uh, things go awry, of course, for him. And then the third time the clock strikes an hour, a Z comes out of it. And that's when Wacky Witch is starting to realize this has to be a cursed clock. And she can't think of what the Z would be, but then the king decides to take a nap. And when he takes a nap, a giant eagle comes and tries to steal his crown. The king holds on to it and gets blown off with the eagle. And so Wacky Witch goes after him, and they find the king in the eagle's roost where he blinded the eagle by using some of the shiny metals in the sunlight. And then they realize that the bird has a bunch of other jewels and stuff that it's been picking up because, like humans, animals also like shiny things. But yeah, this was a fun one. Yeah, throw in some cartoony style books throughout the month. I figure weekends are a good time to do the cartoony style ones. Yeah, this was fun. I enjoyed it, and it was a not wanted surprise, but an interesting surprise to see that it's got a Mark Jewelers page. Like I said, I do not remember seeing other Mark Jewelers represented books that were cartoony style books. I'm curious how far those went, just because if I have a bunch, I'll gladly sell them to people that want to pay a bunch of money for Mark Jewelers stuff. But yeah, that was a fun one. Good old Wacky Witch. Always a goofy little variety of stories in those. Thanks for following Under the Color of MS. Keep checking us out. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, give us those likes, hit hit that thumbs up. Uh, Leave a comment. I'll comment back. Check out our Crimson Color Comic Club. It's not going to post today, but the next one that gets posted, I think, will be the one that we're recording today. And if it is, we'll be doing 3 more cartoon books on that also today. So check that out. And we will be back with more of these soon. Thanks. Bye.